Welcome to Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura, and sewing a curved seam in quilting gives us a lot more design opportunities. Now there are some tips and tricks on sewing those seams, so let's cover those today while we're sewing a table runner with some curved seams. A curved seam can be any size. It can be very high, very low, or even just have a very slight curve. It's just not straight. The pieces will look like they go together with a little bit of a difference. And when we look at them this way, it doesn't seem so overwhelming. But when we take that one and put the right sides together, we're having to sew that one seam all the way along the other. Well, it can look a little bit confusing. But there's some tips and tricks on getting this done. The very first thing is making sure that your pieces are accurate, which means you do need to have your fabric pressed way before you cut it. And that way, all of these pieces are going to be the same. Now, I have some tips that I'm going to share with you, and I am going to do it with this quilt pattern, which happens to be a pre-cut pattern. So it's going to give us an opportunity to do those curves without having to cut them ourselves. This kit is from Sit and Sew, and it comes with everything we need. It has the pattern, and it has all of the pieces pre-cut for us. Binding and batting fabric. Even though this is already pre-cut, the tips and techniques are going to be able to be put to any quilt. The very first thing we need to do is find some marking lines. We want to find the center and two sides. We need to do that to this side, and we need to do it to this side. And really, the easiest way is just to take that, fold it, put a little mark, fold again, and then put two more marks. You only need to do it to that one piece. So we have those three marks. We're going to do the same thing to this side. Fold it, mark it, fold it right in half. We do not have any hanging over, and mark that extra side. So I have 3 points on the one and 3 points on the other. Those points are going to match up as we're sewing. Now we could go and mark every single one of these pattern pieces, or we can mark them all together as one piece. To do that, take those pieces and make sure that they are squared up. And we need to be very precise on this stacking. Now, I'm going to transfer those marks right along those edges. We do have a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so we don't have to worry about the marks. Now, I'm using a Sharpie so that you can see it, but by all means, use something that will fade out or wash out. I just want to peek inside and make sure all of those are marked. And you can see it's just a tiny little mark. And I'll just go through and give a quick look to make sure that they all are marked. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Having these marks and marking them all at once is probably the biggest time saver on doing these. This is definitely a lot easier than marking one at a time. If you're cutting your own shapes, you can always mark them as you go along, and there are some templates that give us the area to mark them. From here, we're going to be able to bring these to the sewing machine and sew them. And there's a few different ways we can sew these together. One is pinning. So we can go in and line up those marks and pin. So we're going to start and pin those 3 marks together and the edges. We can then go in and put a pin in between. The pin heads should be pointing out. Now I'm going to be able to stitch this seam. This is one way I'm going to be able to line them up. Another way to line them up is just right at the machine. So let's start with this pin method. Okay, a few things that I'd like to talk about when we're sitting at the machine. The first thing is I always will stitch on and off of this little scrap of fabric, and you can see I've stitched on it quite a bit. This helps us really start at that point and end at the point. The other thing I like to do is make my stitches a little bit smaller. The smaller stitches make an easier curve. If you have big stitches, they sort of clunk and make a square corner. Smaller stitches are going to have that curve. I do have a 1/4 inch foot on, and that way I can follow the edge of that foot along the edge of the fabric. Now there's one other thing that might make a difference when you are sewing these. And as a general rule, this helps with any type of sewing. It's usually better to have the larger piece or the most difficult piece on the bottom. The reason is our feed dogs are working and they're pulling that fabric with us. The top fabric's just sort of going along for the ride. So the teeth are going to pull the fabric underneath. You can already see that larger piece already is flat. It's this area that has all of that extra. And because I do have my pin head sticking out, it doesn't matter what area I'm sewing on. I've stitched on this fabric and I'm going to come and just stitch off a stitch or two. From here I can bring that edge of the fabric right up against the needle. Take the pin out and do about 2 stitches. Now you can get yourself straightened. You do want to have that curved part straight. So we're not trying to sew it in this direction. We're kind of thinking this is all the seam we're working on at a time. So I'm going to stitch a little bit. When I come to that pin, I can stop, take it out, and readjust that fabric so that inch is straight. I'm also looking from this side to make sure that that edge is correct. I can always just take that fabric and just smooth it a little bit until the edge comes. And stitch that inch. I have that inch straight. And stitch. So we're going to be able to just go along. Let those feed dogs do that work for you. You can always straighten that out if you need to. And continue sewing. As we get to the edge, we're going to be able to sew right off. And then I'm going to stitch on top of another piece of fabric and trim this piece off. So by having this larger piece on the bottom, it helped feed it in for us. So now when we are going to press that out, those seams are going to match. We can do that same sewing method without pins. I'm going to add some pins so that you can see the marks. So these are the 2 pieces that are going to go together. So I'm going to take this piece and it's going to come right to the edge. So what I'm looking at is like a letter L with that 1/4 circle. I'm going to match up this first edge, stitch off of this fabric, just enough that I can slide that in. I'm going to put the pins in just so you can see the marks. But if you can see the marks, you won't need those pins. So I'm going to do a 2-handed sewing. I'm going to work with my right hand on this bottom piece and my left hand with this top piece. So I'm going to hold this up and drive with this. Once again, I'm only going to straighten up this much at a time. Stitch, stop, lift, and move up. So I'm going to always be lifting just ever so slightly. I'm exaggerating this, But this will give you the idea of lifting, and then I'm moving this piece underneath. If you find your marks are not matching up, if the bottom is the culprit, you can just give a little tug on that bottom piece. If it's the top that's not matching up, just lift it up a little bit. And you're going to find that that lifting and tugging just a little bit will help you match up those marks. If you get to an area where you find it's too bulky underneath, you can just straighten that bulk up. Another important thing is do not chain piece with these larger pieces. This extra weight along the back of the machine will pull this fabric. This little piece is fine, but if you have a chain of all of these pieces, they can have a tendency to push the fabric in the direction you don't want it to be in. So for these curved seams, I always start with a little scrap and end with a little scrap. So here's another angle. We're going to stitch off that fabric, line up that top, slide it in. We're going to do a couple of stitches, and we're going to work with our hands in this motion. We now have all of those curved seams with a beautiful 1/4 inch seam along the back. The pattern does have us put them together in a table runner where we're going to match up those dark points. So we end up with this long diamond shape, but we can always change that and make them so that the curves match, or they don't match, and then they make this pinwheel shape. Of course, we can always just sew those circles together, mix up those circles, or have those curves follow a pattern. The fun part about making these curved blocks is you have one block and you're done. So the pattern does give us 2 different layouts, but I chose these beautiful little swirls, or you can look at them this way as tulips. That sit and sew kit really gave me the opportunity just to sit and sew, and I do have the backing and the binding to go with it. Now, curves are a lot of fun to do. They do take a little bit more maneuvering, but once you get that hand over method, it really does go together very quickly. I do encourage you to give some curves a try. And thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I do have a newsletter, all under Sew Very Easy. Bye for now.